We've got 660 acres that we operate here. It's either certified organic or in last year of transition, we've got 100 acres that's just getting transitioned into organic. Everything else has been certified for, since about 2010, maybe, 8, 12. Yeah, it depends upon which piece of ground you're looking at.
The hogs were the main value-adding implement for the farm when Dad and his brother were farming together. And then when he left, there's kind of, this void that I wasn't able to fill. And so we just started scaling down in the hog operation. And it wasn't until, and actually we were getting ready to go out of the hogs until April decided to come home. There's only one constant in life, and that's change. So you have to get used to that things are not going to stay the same. And so we just keep progressing. As our knowledge grows, we know less and less.
This is my enterprise that I brought back. I'm going to explain what we have here. Right now we have 170 layers in that shed right there, and that's our egg mobile.
Since we'd always been pasture farrowers, we had all these A-frames, and we knew that they could handle 50-mile-an-hour winds. It seemed like they just stayed put. And so we're like, well, we're taking that to the chicken business, and we're going to make every chicken house an A-frame, because they seem to stay put in our Iowa winds up here. So that's why most everything tries to have an A-frame roof on it. So it just seems to stay put. And skids seem to stay put better than wheels, too.
I'm going to start at the very basics on pasture, and then we'll work our way up to a little more detailed. These are the waters that we use. We use all types of water. I hate foaming water. It seems to be a real waste of time to me. So most of our farms set up with water lines. These use a standard Ritchie water valve. I think every Ritchie fountain that's ever been made has this exact same valve in it. We always have used ground feed for our hogs, so we have to have something to feed the supplemental grains to. We use hog troughs. Again, you used to be able to buy these at just about any farm store. It's really, 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 really hard to find a hog trough anymore. Our machine shop comes through again, they build these for us. You'll notice the current fencing we use on the hogs is steel wire and steel fence posts with screw-on insulators. The only good thing about that system is it's cheap. Other than that, there's very few advantages. If the insulator ever gets off, you got a dead short. Sometimes it's really hard to find it. And then beside it is what is the flow-togethers. These buildings were very popular in the 1940s and 1950s. Most farms had them on them. They're in two sections. These are 18 foot long. They're 10 foot per section. We use them for gestating sows, finishing pigs, lactate. We can lactate in these buildings. We went and got some pig netting. It's pretty good stuff. It's a little expensive. I'd hate to finance a whole 20 acres of hog pasture with that stuff. It'd be a little spendy. The only problem we found with it is that you don't want to get too close with the weed whip. And you do have to keep the weeds out from under that stuff, or it grounds out pretty easily. So, but it has kept the pigs out of the garden. said, to bring the pigs in. April's going to open the panels like we do, and then we'll put 2 more. This is the way we'll bring them in. We'll bring them around the circle, and then we close the gates in behind them. We bring sows and pigs in, and then Tori's got a sliding gate on that one. We'll slide that open, and we'll start working around the circle. And we'll work the sows, bring them through that gate into the pen closest to us. That's right, we'll work the sows that way. We'll keep pushing the pigs back into the circle. This has worked really well. We use this corral system to catch sows if we are vaccinate. We sort fat hogs with this system. And we use these 2 center gates to crowd into the livestock trailer. And all in all, this system works really well. We have so many hog confinements that several years ago I was ready to quit raising pigs because we just could not keep pigs healthy, and we were fighting PRRS almost continuously. So at that time, Tori and I got a hold of Newman Turner's books, and Newman Turner did work in the 40s and 50s on hyperimmune systems. So we started using apple cider vinegar both in the dairy herd and the hogs. We started in the dairy herd first, and then I reletted and we started using it in the hogs. And we saw some pretty drastic improvement.
We do know that vinegar will digest corn. There was a study done at Madison, the University of Wisconsin. They were developing a floury endosperm corn. They soaked it just with a little bit of vinegar, about 3 gallons per ton. And the protein in a corn, the prolamines, dissolves. It's like a fish net and little balls of starch in it. So that fish net of prolamine dissolves, releasing about 25% more starch. When I first gave it to my piggies, it was pretty funny. I had a tub, kind of like your trough out there, and I was going to dilute it with water. So I put 5 gallons in the tub, went over to get the garden hose, and I heard World War III breaking out over there. And those pigs were fighting over that vinegar. And by the time I could kick them away and get in there with the hose, it was all gone. So I went and got another 5 gallons and poured it in there. And the pigs were this time, you should see a pig's face when they drink straight vinegar. It's the funniest looking thing. It's like, you talk about a sourpuss, they're wrinkled. But they drank all that vinegar. Well, the third time I finally got some water in it. And but the next morning it looked like there had been a spaghetti fight in my pig pen, because there was roundworms laying all over the ground. The question is, should it go in the water or in the feed? My answer to that usually is, what is easiest for you?
Too cheap, Tori says. My grandma called it thrifty and frugal. My grandfather called it Scotch, and my dad called it just plain tight.